It was supposed to be just another quiet evening at Heartland Ranch.
Yeah.
The sun was slowly dipping beneath the horizon, casting a warm, golden glow over the familiar landscape.
The first thing that comes to
The
mind
ranch was buzzing with its usual energy. Horses were being tended to, the staff was finishing their daily chores,
I've noticed that
and the
this cult
close-knit
seems
family
curious.
that ran Heartland was going about their evening routines. But nothing could have prepared them for what was about to happen. Amy Fleming, the heart
Some of
and
the
soul
others.
of Heartland,
Not really what I
had
had
always
in
been the
mind.
one who held everything together. Her unshakable strength and deep connection
The hell
to
you
the
think
horses
you're doing
had
to
earned
my
her the
property?
trust and admiration
this
of
quote
everyone
from my
around
theory.
her. On any given day, she was the one giving guidance to those
Yes,
who
of
needed
course.
it, always the first to step in when things got tough. She was, in many ways, the foundation of the ranch.
What about him?
But that evening, something was off. Amy had been pushing herself hard in the days leading up to
I
a
won't
major
be
horse
around to
show,
harass
a
you,
competition
okay?
that could
I just
define her future as an
I thought
equine
so.
therapist.
Guy raised his rates.
She'd spent countless hours in the barn,
Dad.
working tirelessly
Okay.
with the horses,
Yep.
making sure they were in perfect
Bye-bye.
condition. Yet, behind the scenes, there was something stirring
Every time I
inside
go out
her,
in the field, he
something
keeps his
she
distance.
couldn't
I should have
shake.
let you convince me to do this.
Her
We have
usual
to go.
focus had begun to slip.
estate.
She was distracted,
There
more
isn't.
anxious than usual, and
So
no
go!
one knew why.
His name's
Was
Frank
it just the
Potter. I'll
pressure of
send you
the
his
upcoming
contact
show?
info. Guilty.
Or was
Amy,
something
we
deeper
already
at play?
talked about-
Her family didn't know, but they could feel the tension in the air, even if they couldn't quite put their fingers
Horses
on
are
it.
more wild than others.
That night, everything was about to
I
change,
told you.
and no one could have predicted it. As the family gathered for their evening dinner, a sense of normalcy seemed to settle in. Jack,
Thank you.
the steady grandfather figure who
We
had
had this
seen it
big
all,
fight
was telling one of
right
his
before,
classic
and I believe
stories,
it.
his voice
That was a
rich
friend
with
of Lauren's
memories of
who's
years
a big
past.
agent.
Tim was cracking jokes, Lou was
That when I was
catching
a
up
kid.
on the latest in her business,
name was
and Peter
Cass.
was sharing
Great,
his
so it's not
thoughts
like
on
we're
family
trespassing.
matters.
Okay, but
The world outside felt peaceful, calm, almost
Look at him,
idyllic.
make sure he's all right. Do you
The
really
type of
think I
evening
give
you
a...
thought would last forever.
Wait,
But
where are
then,
you?
the phone rang.
You will.
It wasn't Amy's phone. This time,
I can't
the call came from the hospital. Amy Fleming has been in an accident, the voice
similar,
on the
not
other
the
end
same.
said, calm but urgent.
what
She's
if I
in
run into
critical
Billy?
condition.
I don't get
Suddenly,
out on
the
horses
room
as
fell
much.
silent.
Care about is seeing you
The
gone.
lively
Now,
chatter
all right?
of the evening
Stop!
ceased in an instant. It felt like the entire world
mean,
stopped turning for a brief
seem to get
moment.
close to him.
How
Riding
could this be
lessons? I'm not a
happening?
riding instructor.
Amy, always the strong one, was now fighting for her life.
Happy to pay whatever you're asking.
The news hit the family like a ton of bricks, and without a second thought, they
Seriously,
rushed
it was-
to the
We're just getting
hospital.
to know each other.
Hearts heavy, minds racing, each step they took toward the hospital felt longer than the last. What could have happened? How could Amy, of all people, be in danger? It didn't
Her
make
agent?
sense.
Yeah.
Awesome.
She was the one who
Your
always
leg
had
could have been
everything
straighter.
under control.
We have to send them your way.
She
if
was the
things
one
work
who
well,
understood the horses
I
better
take
than
it
anyone
that-
else.
You and
And
lightning,
yet,
it was
now
just
she
really
was lying
exciting,
in a
and
hospital
it-
bed, clinging to life. The road to the hospital seemed endless, but the family finally
I need
arrived,
to get close
their
to
worry
anyone.
etched
Every
on
time
their
I do, I end
faces.
up losing.
I'm
The
prepared to
doctors
pay.
met them with grim
Give me a price.
expressions, explaining
But it
that
won't
Amy
matter
had
if everyone
suffered a
keeps changing the
serious
speed and
fall
nearly
while
tossing.
training one of the horses.
I'll do my best.
The impact from the fall had
No,
caused
we're
severe
not
trauma.
talking.
They were doing everything they could, the
in this
doctors
area
assured them,
of
but
Canada.
the situation was critical. In the sterile, quiet hospital waiting room, time seemed to stretch endlessly. The only sounds
know
were the
it's
soft
something you-
shuffling of footsteps and the occasional sob that broke through the silence.
We're supposed to leave for Germany
Jack,
next week.
who had always been the pillar of strength, was pacing back and
I don't have
forth,
to
his
worry
mind
about him.
unable to focus.
That's good. That'll
Tim,
Yeah, it was
trying to
really
be
sort of
strong for
romantic and
everyone,
exciting.
struggled to hide the fear in his eyes.
It's getting
Lou,
worse out there.
Peter,
so glad
and
that
the
you
others
came.
were in shock.
What is all this?
They couldn't
I just let
comprehend
him
what was
go.
happening. This wasn't how it was supposed to be.
Baby Simon, this thing's cost
Amy
a
was
fortune.
supposed to be
Can you work with
fine.
Corona?
I would love
She was
to,
always
but that
fine.
doesn't
That could be you.
But this time, things were different.
more games, right?
As the night wore
why I
on,
brought you
the
here. There's a
family
jump-
received updates from the doctors, each one more devastating than the last. Amy had slipped into a
The
coma.
Coalition for Animal
Her
Rights
chances of
rated and-
He's
surviving
over
were
all
growing
the
slimmer with
time.
every passing hour. The medical team was
Are
doing
you
everything
serious?
they
You
could,
bet if we
but even they
practice,
knew
but we
that
can't
time
do
was
that if
running
Corona
out.
keeps acting up.
Back at the ranch, chaos was beginning to ripple through the Heartland family. The horses, sensitive to the tension in the air, were spooked.
Guys, just no.
Staff
Stay there.
scrambled to
Get in
keep
the
things
cabin.
under control, but the absence of Amy's steady presence was felt in
Kill-
every corner of the
Kiss
ranch.
me.
The place that
change
had
our
once
lives.
felt full of
In a
life
good
and
way.
purpose now felt eerily empty.
We leave now, we can fit in a
Amy
workout.
was more than just a horse trainer to them.
Thank you.
She was the heart of Heartland. Without her, everything seemed off. The animals seemed to sense it. The family certainly did.
We don't have
and
much
even the
time.
land itself felt quieter. But the worst news was still yet to come. The hours dragged on, the waiting unbearable. When the doctors finally arrived with an update, it was the news no one wanted to hear.
Small world, huh?
Amy's condition had worsened, and despite the best efforts of
Like
the
when-
medical
when
staff,
we're
there was
outside,
nothing
I like
more
when
they
we
could
fly
do. Amy passed away quietly in the
come
night,
in.
surrounded by her family's love.
I over?
The loss was almost incomprehensible.
Agreement.
Amy, the girl
What
who
is
had
it I'm
spent her
keeping
entire
confident?
life at Heartland,
No,
who had
you're
fought
being
so hard
selfish.
to overcome every
Of course
obstacle
we
in
are.
her path, was gone.
What's around here?
The shockwaves from her death rippled through the entire community.
In nature, or we're
People who had known her from the beginning, her friends, and even the animals she had cared for, couldn't believe it. How could it be?
With Mark.
How could someone so full of life, someone who had touched so many hearts, be taken away so suddenly? Amy's funeral was a somber occasion.
You two have.
There, surrounded by her family, friends, and even some of the ranch's animals, everyone came together to save her. It was a day of grief, but also of
Amy
remembrance.
Fleming?
Another girl.
People who had known Amy spoke of her strength, her compassion, and the incredible bond she shared with the horses. Her legacy was undeniable. But what did this mean for Heartland? How would the ranch, the place Amy had worked so hard to build, continue without her? The days that followed were filled with uncertainty, and the road ahead seemed darker than ever. Yet,
So
amidst the
over.
heartbreak, there was a quiet resolve.
Me?
Amy had taught everyone around her the importance of love, family,
Sure,
and
look who's here.
perseverance. And though she was gone, her spirit remained. The days that followed Amy's passing were a blur of grief, disbelief, and an overwhelming sense of emptiness. Heartland Ranch, once a place filled
But be
with
careful.
warmth and energy,
really starting to
now
like
felt like a shell of itself. The horses, the animals that had always been at the center of everything, seemed to mourn with the family.
Hey,
It wasn't
how you
just
doing?
the staff
Oh,
who
good.
felt her
Thanks.
absence. The entire ranch, from the stables to the fields, had been touched by Amy's gentle spirit.
Listen!
But even in the face of such profound loss, the family had to keep going. They had no choice.
for you anyway.
The ranch depended on them. The horses still needed care.
Who are you?
The land still needed tending. Jack, more than anyone, was struggling.
It's called the Devil's Lake.
He had seen Amy grow up before his eyes. He had watched her go from a little girl with a love for horses to a woman who had dedicated her
Anyway,
life to them.
it was a rebound from the start,
Losing her
right?
felt like
Fan
losing a
shop.
piece of himself.
Who is Mindy?
But Jack was a man who had lived through hardship.
Wonderful rest of your day.
He had weathered storms, both literal and
not a
metaphorical,
stadium jump,
and
it's a
somehow
cross-country
always
jump.
found a way to persevere. He wasn't going to let Heartland fall
Not a
apart
horse.
because of this. It was in the quiet moments, when the ranch was still
Be
and the
careful with
horses
that
were
rope.
calm,
Oh, man,
that
she's
Jack would
I
reflect
can't wait
on
to tell
Amy's
Saraya.
legacy. He thought about the lessons she had taught him, not just about horses, but about life.
That it's gonna be
She
a part
had
of the
always
course of
believed in
Summer
the power
Games.
of kindness, of family,
Where
and
am
of
I
staying
supposed to
true
get-
to one's values no matter the challenges. He knew that if Amy could see them now, she would want them to keep
Water?
going.
What's wrong with our own water?
To honor her
Well, yeah.
memory by continuing the work she loved, by holding on to the
more than
values
I to
she had
figure out.
instilled in everyone at Heartland.
15
wasn't
strawberry
easy.
incense sticks, one
Lou, Amy's sister, found herself overwhelmed.
Candles. Where do we
She
keep
had
the
always
white
been the
candles
planner,
in
the
this?
one who kept everything in mind, but now she was facing an
It's about
uncertainty she
people.
hadn't known
He's a little
before.
less fearful of the human
The
world.
weight of the ranch, the family, and the future was suddenly so
we
much
were
heavier.
doing the cattle drive.
Peter, Amy's husband, was struggling too. Though he had always supported
Actually, I
Amy in
need
her
some
work,
advice.
he was now
Horses
faced
need
with
shot.
raising their young daughter
course,
and
come
trying to keep the ranch running smoothly in her absence. Everyone had their own way of grieving, their own way of coping with the loss. But through it all, they leaned on
actually
each
didn't
other,
pick him
just as Amy would have wanted.
Okay.
Slowly,
I never-
they
Big
began
word
to
about
find their way again.
We were talking
The
about-
transition
solve
wasn't
this.
easy.
There's gotta be something I
There
can
were
do.
setbacks, moments of doubt,
I might
and
know
times
someone
when
who
it
could
felt
give you a
like the
better
weight of the
price.
world was on their shoulders. But they kept going, honoring Amy's memory by continuing the work she had loved so much.
It's so pretty.
And as time passed, something incredible began to
Looks
happen.
exactly like a horse used to have.
They started to heal.
Check out her cross-country course.
It
And
wasn't
she
quick,
totally
and it wasn't easy, but the family began to realize that Amy's
Made a
spirit
full
was still
recovery.
with
It
them.
would set my mind at ease
It
if I could
lived
just
on
take
in the
a
way they cared for the horses, in the way they treated each other,
Can't
and in
say
the
I'm
way they
sorry, I
carried on the
can't even
legacy
talk
of the
to him.
ranch.
In LA,
Amy had always
all the A-list
believed that
stars.
Heartland wasn't just a place, it was a family. A family that stuck together no
You try
matter
with
what.
Kaz?
And now, in the wake of her death,
so that's
the
what this
family
is
was
about.
proving just that.
As I did back
Though
at the
the
beginning.
pain of losing her would
and that
never
Jack-
truly go away, they found comfort in the memories they shared. They found strength in each other.
Him.
As the months passed,
And now he's
the
got a
ranch began
girlfriend.
to feel
Listen, her
alive
agent
again,
says she's really
not
good.
just
All
because
she
of the
needs is a little
horses or
tune-up.
the work,
From the elbows
but
down,
because
I
of the
really
love
adore
that
him.
continued to flow through every corner of
What do
Heartland.
you say?
Amy's death had shaken them
Wyatt
to their
aren't
core,
exactly
but
on
it
the
had
best
also brought
terms
them
right
closer
now.
together.
provided for me.
It had reminded
my
them of
first
the
sort
importance of
experience.
family, of the bonds that could never be broken, no matter how much time passed. It was in these quiet moments of reflection, these small
do.
acts
Look
of
at Ty.
remembrance,
Can I
that
take
they
your
began
money,
to
Lou?
rebuild. They
It must be
continued
because
to
the
care
biggest
for the
competition of
horses,
my
to
daughter's
train
career.
them just as Amy had done. They began to share her story,
Give you a
to
chance
keep her
to
memory alive in the
focus
way
on
they
training
lived
for
their
the summer?
lives. And through it all, the ranch never stopped being
listen to
Heartland. As the new seasons passed and the days grew longer, the family found themselves
Now he's
not
got a
just
kid.
surviving, but thriving. They carried on the work that
You
Amy
know what?
had
You want
so
it, you got it.
passionately dedicated
So
herself
please,
to,
Amy, do
but
whatever
they
it
did
takes.
so with a new sense of purpose. The lessons she had imparted to them were now more important than ever. The love for the horses, the dedication to the ranch, and the importance of family, all of it was alive in everything they did.
But then he disappeared.
Heartland had changed. The absence of Amy was something
just
that
all
would never
messed up.
fully be
Do we have a
filled.
deal?
But in
So
many
who is
ways,
this
the
person?
ranch had become a living
You don't
tribute
get to
to her.
decide this on your own.
It was her legacy, carried
you're here
forward by
for the
those she
tour,
had loved
obviously?
most. That as the seasons shifted, the family at Heartland found themselves at a crossroads.
You know, when
They had
we're-
learned to live with pain. Amy's death had left a hole, one that no amount of time could completely
I
heal.
was supposed to go to
Yet,
band.
somehow,
I don't think
through
it's a
every
what
heartache,
question, Grandpa.
they
I think
discovered
it's a-
something remarkable. They were stronger than they had ever imagined.
We've not seen each other in a
They
while,
had
hey?
begun to rebuild, not just the ranch, but their lives.
I looked at the
Every
latest
day,
story.
they worked side by
buy
side,
inappropriate gifts.
continuing
That's
to
just what I'm
honor
doing.
Amy's vision so much.
Thanks for coming.
Each day became a tribute to the life she had lived, the person she had been. But the grief still lingered, like a shadow that would never fully disappear.
What's up?
For Jack, it was especially
Sorry.
hard. The ranch had always been his
another
lifeblood,
scan in a
and
couple
seeing it
weeks
without
and make a
Amy was a
decision.
constant reminder of the pain they were all trying to outrun. Still, he pressed on, knowing that this was what Amy would have
He
wanted.
won't let us anywhere near him.
One morning, as Jack stood in
Maybe
the
more than
stables,
like him.
looking out over the land that had been the heart of their family's life, something remarkable happened. The horses, the very animals Amy had dedicated herself to, seemed to respond to his presence differently.
Slim and I can't
There was a
jump that hard
calmness in the
besides.
air, an almost tangible connection. It felt like Amy was still there, watching over them, urging them forward.
I fell way
That
too
day,
hard too
Jack
soon.
gathered the family for a meeting.
Mindy
He
Fanshawe.
had something
That's not one of her
important to
movies,
say,
boy.
something
suing
that
me
had
for
been
full
weighing
custody of
heavily on
Carson.
his heart. I know we've all been struggling,
Flame's never
Jack
jumped
began,
water.
Pure
his voice
Egyptian
thick with
cotton
emotion.
sheets. 10
But I
cases
can
of feet.
feel her. Amy's still with us.
Box of bendy
Her spirit
straws.
is here, in this
We need
place.
white.
We owe it to her, to ourselves, to keep
What do
moving
you think
forward.
this is?
The
I
room
need a
fell
dozen-
silent. It was as though the weight of his words hung in
Grandpa,
the air,
you need
but
to
the
replace
family
the
knew
toilet
what
seat in
Jack
the
was saying
office.
was
So where
true.
you been, you can't return
Amy's
my
presence had
Well, I
always
guess
been a
the
guiding
fact that
force,
the toilet
and though
seat
she
is
was no
perched
longer
over a
physically
hole
with
in
them, her essence remained in everything they did.
Fanshawe is
Heartland
a
isn't just a
self-centered,
ranch, Jack
obnoxious,
continued.
narcissist.
It's more than that. It's a legacy, one that Amy built with her heart, her hands, and her love. And we're going to carry that
Well,
forward.
there's a lot of favorites.
We're
but
going to
I
keep
don't
the
know why-
ranch alive, not just for us, but for her. The family members exchanged glances, their hearts heavy but their resolve growing stronger.
The
They had
reservation
already
is under
lost
what
so
name?
much, but they still had each other, and they still had the ranch. They would
I know
not let
this
it fade into
sounds
the
crazy,
past.
but some wild.
The weeks that followed were filled with new challenges and
See the
triumphs.
connection between my
The
saddle
family
and
took
his.
on new roles, stepping up to fill
I
the
gotta deal
void
with my
left by
horses
Amy's
before this storm.
absence.
Great.
Lou and Peter focused on expanding the ranch's
This
community
wasn't your
outreach
fault.
programs, ensuring that the legacy of the horses, the animals
Oh my
Amy
God,
had
Grandpa, you were
worked
not
so
gonna-
hard to nurture,
You okay?
continued to touch lives far beyond the gates of Heartland.
Look, I got a lot of
Tim
friends
and
with
Caleb
horses.
took charge of the
So
ranch's physical
embarrassing.
upkeep,
Why
putting
was
their
such an
efforts
idiot?
into restoring the
was
stables
a
and
huge
ensuring that
storm
everything
and
was in top
thunder.
condition. And Jack, as always, was the steady hand guiding them all. It wasn't easy.
moving further away.
There were moments when the
Oh, I'm
family
afraid.
doubted themselves,
Travel
moments when the
agent.
grief seemed
Look,
too
Amy,
overwhelming.
give me very much time.
But
The
with
only
each
shot that
passing
Sophia has
day,
of winning
they
is
grew
a-
stronger, closer, more connected.
Pump, I
They
wanna
honored
show you.
Amy by continuing to do the work she had loved, by being the kind of family she had always wanted them to be.
Lou?
One afternoon,
Yeah.
as the sun set
No.
behind the
Found
hills,
so many
casting a golden glow
violations.
over the ranch,
Animal-
Jack stood alone in the barn, surrounded by the horses.
I am.
They were calm,
So, Amy, if
their
this
gentle
works
breaths
out-
filling the silence, and for a moment, he felt at peace.
Summer, Wyatt!
It was as if the horses, too,
Wyatt's here.
were paying their respects to Amy, honoring the woman who had devoted her life to
Animals, I
them.
like that.
In that quiet moment, Jack realized something powerful.
Get back! Stay back!
It had just
It's
been
weird
about
that
the
they would have
land or
horses
the
here. They're
animals.
not exactly
It
exotic.
had always been about family.
I saw him in town.
It had been about love, hard work, and the unwavering belief that together, they could overcome anything.
When you Caleb Odell?
And as long as they held on to
this
those
is
values, Heartland
fun.
would never truly die. Amy had taught them that. The family continued to push forward, honoring the past while creating a new future. It was never about replacing Amy, it was about keeping her legacy alive in everything they did. As time passed, Heartland began to heal,
Mindy.
not just because of the work they put in, but because of the love they poured
to get 'em
into
used to it.
love that Amy had
How?
started, and love that would continue
Organic
to grow.
flaxseed snack bars?
When the next
Kumquat?
season of the ranch came around, it was with a renewed sense of purpose. The family had learned to carry the weight of loss, but they had also learned to find strength in it.
Somewhere where I can't return calls.
Amy's death had been an unimaginable
On the ground
tragedy,
might
but
be
it had
more
also
of a
brought the
problem for
family
them.
closer. They had learned what truly mattered, the importance
Yeah.
of family, of honoring those we lose, and of never giving up. And so, Heartland
Nuts or
continued.
berries, I still got
The
lots of
horses,
miles.
the land, they all lived on. Amy's memory would never fade.
Animal rights team. And
Her
that's
spirit
where
lived in every corner of the ranch, in the heart of every person who had known her.
A
Heartland was not
confidentiality.
just a place, it was a testament to her life, her love, and her legacy. As the final moments of the season drew to a close, there was a sense of peace. The future,
Someone-
though uncertain, was something the family could face together. They had Amy's strength to guide them, and they had each other. And with that, Heartland's
Just as I was
story continued,
I
as it
need
always
a
would.
pair of cowboy